Hi everyone, thanks for making the left turn for today, Saturday, September 16th, 2017. I'm George Farrar and welcome back to the Jax Left channel and welcome back to Who Runs Jacksonville, our continuing series, taking a look at the people and organizations who run Jacksonville. And this summer I've been taking a look at our corporate media. I've been taking a look at our corporate television news stations. And today, we're now at the final episode where I take a look at the agendas. The agendas. I start trying to look at what am I seeing and what concerns me, and are there things that I'm seeing that aren't right? So what I'm going to go ahead and do to kind of take this at a more relaxed pace is what you're seeing right now is you're going to view over the next couple minutes are pictures of the theme that I use in most of my Jax Left channel shows. And you're getting a chance now to kind of see it in a little more detail. You know, things are very rushed. Local television news, you know, they try to rush things and kind of, okay, well, next minute or two, we got to get on to the next story. You know, weather and sports is waiting. You know, oh, there's breaking news. We'll get back with you. The live shot didn't work out. Whatever, you know. We're having technical difficulties. We'll be back with you in a second. So instead of all this flashing back and forth, I'm going to go ahead and let these pictures play. And I've got my notes. I'm going to kind of talk about. We'll take you through the rubric. We talked about the rubric earlier this summer, and I've been kind of touching upon it here and there. I want to kind of finally wrap everything up. I want to make some recommendations to you. But I want to tell you one thing before I get started. For those of you progressive activists out there, definitely reach out to the corporate TV news. Reach out to them when you've got a protest, when you've got an event going on. Let them know so they can at least have the option on a given day to possibly come out and broadcast something from your event. Of course, you know, there are never guarantees on times and whether a commitments can be made. Everything is spur of the moment. Things can change at a minute's notice. So, but reaching out is always a good thing to do because you want to have your voice as a citizen out there and keep trying. Keep trying with all the different organizations and not just corporate news. There's also, of course, Jacksonville Perspectives. I'll tell you about that later, how you get involved with that. But it is, in a lot of ways, our community, our city. The thing about it, though, is there's big money in advertising, big money in corporatism. So sometimes the protests, they may not always get covered like we'd like. But a lot of times when there's something going on, the corporate news will go out there and at least bring some news, some information to the people. Numbers matter. Numbers do matter in trying to present a message out there to get on the television, to get out into social media, to get out there for people, to change minds, to influence. So let's go ahead and bring up the rubric. I've been looking at a variety of different things as I've looked at everything. So I'm going to just make some general observations from the rubric and then go on into recommendations. Classy or lowbrow? Only times I run anything that's really lowbrow or really questionable. Sometimes I think there's a tendency with on the public forums for people to comment and to say things that are way, way, way inappropriate and insensitive and inflammatory. And I, from time to time, am seeing more moderating going on the Facebook pages for these corporate news stations. A little bit more of a response, a little bit more of a reaction. But there are some crazy things that I see. If you ever really want to open your eyes about people in the community, get out onto those public forums. But that's where I would run into that and see that and go, scratch my head and go, whoa, okay, you know. So you have to watch out for the medium sometimes because even the medium, just the way it's set up, can skew the message and can skew things, can cause issues down the road. All right, so in-depth to superficial. Are we getting knowledge, you know? Are we getting, you know, trying to cram everything in for 5 minutes before traffic weather and sports. Is there some variety? Or is there some real in-depth investigations going on? And I was pleased to see that a good number of investigations were happening. A good look, especially from JXT and from TLV and the WJXX, that duopoly. So JXT and then the JXX TLV duopoly, they had some good investigations back on August 16th, I recall. And so it is, are you taking the time in the course of communication to communicate with the citizens and to give people practical information and let people know, well, here's what's going on in society. And for example, the JXT look at juvenile justice and changes that were being made to how juveniles are being handled. That's something to think about. There's some deep things, and don't be afraid to jump into depth, because right now, coming out of Hurricane Irma this past week, we see here the front page of the Florida Times-Union, Wind and Water. Okay. I was pleased. One thing that really inspired me was seeing Gina Blaylock and Tim Deegan with the WTLV, WJXX duopoly. They were, after everything had cleared, the water had cleared out, they were able to go out to Memorial Park, okay, and they were able to talk a little bit about things, and that means a lot. But every once in a while, you do see some commercialism that creeps in, promoting businesses, promoting certain products, certain food companies, and I would be surprised if they send in press releases too, right? They send in information too, and they go with it. But that is probably my more depth of concern. Now, I've got to talk with you about propaganda. From time to time, we do see a skew. We do see a skew to the right of the political spectrum. For example, on August 16th, 2017, WJXT spent a little bit long focusing on former Congresswoman Corrine Brown's path through the justice system. There was almost a zeal, and you could see it. You could just see it. And when you do a cross comparison along with the other stations and you look at things, you can start to piece things together. And that's what I hope that I've been able to do in this. Sometimes there can be a skew towards a worship of authority figures. Now, I am going into a direction, I am doing what I have to do. I'm going where angels fear to tread so you can hear the truth that goes on here. Now, so there's that. It's something to keep in the back of your mind. Now, here we have a picture of WJXT, Channel 4, back when it was a CBS affiliate, the Columbia Broadcasting System. They were CBS affiliate. This is their old building that was demolished in the early 1990s to make way for their current headquarters. And there's a satellite truck. So we look kind of at timeliness or the old model. And then here's where my recommendations come in, because I can come in now and recommend to all of you out there in corporate media, kind of give you my thoughts. Channel 4 has gotten Sky 4 now. It's gotten this is a big thing really, because now we have 2 television stations that have 2 helicopters. So you've got some competition going on. And I say, get out there, get coverage particularly of traffic, of breaking incidents, and how society is reacting. There's a reasonableness, a level of respect. Some of the stations are more geared on social media than others, and they're doing action news, for example, rather notable in what they've been doing on social media with their format that they use. WJXT can also be commended for some work that they've been doing so far as communicating out with weather and even international stories and things like that. So I also can tell you, though, that I've been discouraged looking sometimes at some of the commercialism that goes on. There is kind of a blindness that these organizations have because they're money-making organizations. They're big, huge companies. So they can relate to other big, huge companies. And I think sometimes the little guy kind of falls in the cracks. And so that's where communication helps. Now, you know, I am on my phone all the time, and if I'm not on my phone, I'm on the computer, and if I'm not on the computer, I'm watching television and on my phone, or maybe, you know, of course, obviously, I'm out from time to time earning a living, and also trying to get out and film as much as I can, and of course, make shows. So I have a role, and you have a role too. And how we have a role in trying to kind of be a counter in some ways, a positive counter to some of the excesses and the worst of corporate news, is we have this little Facebook group called Jacksonville Perspectives. Facebook group is Jacksonville Perspectives. We're progressives united for 21st century Jacksonville. I think we're, in the coming years, are going to start to try to have a role in pushing the city to do things that need to be done. And whenever I have the opportunity to get out into film, whether it's history, and I'll get to that in a moment, or politics, where I try to kind of get out, and that things change, plans change, hurricanes come, things get delayed, campaigns get to going, then they slow down, legislation gets introduced and it gets delayed, or legislation doesn't get introduced, and you fight and you fight and you fight. However all that is, I will sometimes get out into the city of Jacksonville and film, and I go out into the Jax Left Politics and History channel. And also on that channel, and if you're on YouTube, you're watching it on the Jax Left channel, we have a show called History Jacksonville. I have a Facebook group page called History Jacksonville. You know, I'm taking a look at Jacksonville history. And so for those of you out there who are really into Jacksonville history, I go all different places with history. I'm always trying to find some good stuff. But, you know, there's also stuff that's going on over on the George Farrar channel. It's the legacy channel of the LeftTurnNetwork.com. It's the original channel. It was where, you know, things were born. The ideas came into being. The magic happened. The spark hit in January 2011, and I created the George Farrar channel. So I go on the channel once in a while. I talk national and international politics, and I do some different things. Sometimes I'll bring in some history stuff and do some different stuff. So, and also, you know, for national and international news, check out the Left Turn News group on Facebook, another Facebook group I have. Thanks for watching. Your support and your interest and your feedback means a lot to me. I greatly appreciate it. The best is yet to come. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I hope you've enjoyed our corporate media. See you later.